Chris is with us in New Jersey. Hey, Chris, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. Thanks for taking my call. I hope all is well by you.
It is. How can we help?
So I started listening to you for a few months, and I got the Everyday app, and I'm just starting to use it. I'm on baby step 2, and I'm kind of doing this without discussing it with my husband, and I'm trying to figure out a way to bring up the discussion with him on this.
How long have you guys been married, Chris?
27 years.
How was money stuff before you found the show and Every Dollar and everything for the past 26 years? How's money been?
We pretty much struggle. I am the only one that makes the consistent money. My husband has a company, and most of the profit and everything stays with the company. So
he doesn't bring any money home from his company?
He keeps it in the company for the most part, and then when I need assistance, he'll pitch in.
So his company doesn't make a profit?
For
how long? For how long?
13 years.
He's not made a profit for 13 years?
He makes a profit, but very little, like $5,000 a year profit. It's not a lot.
Why does he keep doing that?
Because he wants to.
What do you make?
I mean, I make 54, but I probably take home about $3,000 a month.
Okay. I mean, I'm a little bit confused, okay? I don't understand why either one of you think it's okay to make $5,000 a year income and work full-time to do it in perpetuation.
I mean, he's paying all the bills for business, and
for paying all the bills for what?
For the business.
I know.
You know,
I know.
Afloat.
He runs a business and he makes $5,000 profit. You said, is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's all he's made every year for 13 years. I mean, if you did that for a year,
I wouldn't say every year. I mean, it fluctuates. It fluctuates.
But it's not a lot, Chris. I mean, you're not saying like he's not bringing home $100,000 or something. Yeah, it's
no, not at all.
Yeah. It's low.
So I mean, he could get a job and make 20 times more, couldn't he?
If he'd be willing to do that.
I don't understand why someone would be willing to work for $5,000 a year. He's not making $1 an hour.
He's doing what he wants.
On what I want to do, and I make $1 an hour.
I mean, he's probably made more. It's probably made, profited.
Well, you don't have to backtrack, Chris. I mean, I think it's just, I think that the point that he's been doing this for so long, not making a profit, and you guys are not on the same page. So to kind of get to a little bit of the heart of what you're talking about is you guys have been on two separate lanes for a long time when it comes to money. It doesn't sound like a very team effort. It's kind of more his thing, my thing, and a lot of couples function like that. I put out just a post on Instagram last week about having joint bank accounts, and you would have thought I ran over someone's puppy. Like, people hated the fact that I mentioned having joint checking accounts. So like, it's not you're functioning in a semi-normal environment. But what we say around here is that normal's broke. Like, normal's not good. Like, we want to be weird. And so I think the thing here with you guys is that there's more of a marriage issue than necessarily a money issue. It's the repercussions of the avoidance of conflict and things within your marriage are now, the money topic has risen to the top as the kind of the filter of all that coming out. So I think you guys working on the same team in marriage overall is going to be really important. And as his wife, I mean, and again, I haven't been in the marriage for 26 years, but I can tell you, like, laying it all out is very vulnerable for you because all the responsibility has been on you. And a lot of women feel that way. They're kind of like the CEO of the household or the CFO of the household. A lot of women pay the bills. They do it all.
In her case, she pays it all.
And your money is paying for most of it, right?
No, it's paying for everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
correct.
You make 10 times more than he makes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, she does.
Right, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so you're carrying the household by yourself.
And that's a very lonely place, Chris. And so, I mean, do you feel that? Do you just feel this? Do you just feel this burden? Like you're exhausted?
I do, but I mean, this is our life.
It's how it's been, right?
You know.
Well, let me tell you this. After 2 decades of doing this, we've found that it's really, really hard to win financially if you're not both on the same team. And so getting it to that place, like ground zero there for you all, is going to be really, really important. And I think coming open and honestly about what you're wanting to do, how you're feeling, and it's going to probably have some tension, it's going to have some conflict, but getting it out and communicating it is going to be that first step. And it is going to be very vulnerable, very scary, because you guys obviously have not been functioning like that. But man, the quicker that Band-Aid can get ripped off and you guys start working together and him know what you're feeling, your values, what you're wanting, your fears. I mean, all of it all ties into that money conversation.
Chris, if you hear aggravation in my voice, it's not towards you, it's towards him. I'm just going to tell you what I think because you called the show. Okay? I think you avoid conflict at unbelievable costs. That the king of the world sitting over there making $5,000 a year has totally got you buffaloed and you're afraid to say anything for some reason or another. Because he's a butthole or something like that. I don't know what's going on. But how a guy makes $5,000 a year for 13 years and convinces his wife that that's okay is beyond me. That's just strange, honey. And so I'm going to bust up in his stuff right here on your behalf because you can't seem to do it. So he's way out of line. He's way out of line. He's not providing for his family, and all in the name of he's happy. You know, well, of course he's happy. He makes no money and his wife takes care of him. He's got no problems. So you guys got some avoidance issues in this relationship that are off the charts. And so I'm not fussing at you, darling. I'm Uncle Dave's ticked at your husband right now because he's not taking good care of you and has got you in an emotional environment where you're having to take up for him on this show, and that's just not healthy. This is a screwed up mess right here. And so I'm going to encourage you desperately to get with a good pastor, a good marriage counselor, and the two of you start working through this, because everything you told me and the way you described it was all completely unhealthy. It's not good. It's working for you because you're not rocking the boat. But, darling, this boat needs to be rocked. Now, maybe you don't like that. Maybe you don't want to do it. You don't have to do it. You're a grown adult. You can do whatever you want to do. But you called here. And it's my obligation when you call here to love you enough to tell you the truth instead of avoiding what is right in front of me as I'm sitting here looking at your life. That is just strange, honey. It's just strange. And everything about the way you answered the questions, the way we talked through this was you want to avoid having to confront him or bring up this subject in any way. And there's a sense of fear. There's a sense of conflict avoidance and all of it. And I love you, darling, and I want you guys to win. You can choose to live this life if you want to live it, but you called here and you get to decide the life you want to live. Your husband gets to decide the life he wants to live. And I think there's more going on than just I'm having trouble getting him on the budget with me. You're not going to get him on the budget with you because other stuff's going on here. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.